Hey guys, welcome back, and today we're going to be talking about Louis C.K.
Why would you?
Louis is a particularly interesting comedian. For years, he built a career on discussing some of the most messed up thoughts in his head. And somehow, against all odds, a balding man dressed like a divorced car salesman
Oh shit!
became one of the biggest comedians in America. So today we're going to be looking at some of Louis C.K.'s greatest routines, while also unearthing his harassment scandals and seeing what that dirty little perv did.
You're not gonna believe what the hell are you doing?
And, as always, I'll end with the Roast of Louis C.K. Although this video is very dangerous, because when you say to Louis you want to see some of his material, you just got to be extremely specific. Let's get into it. One of his most famous appearances was on the Late Night Show with Conan O'Brien, where he explained the beauty of modern society, and pretty much just called everyone sooks for an hour.
Flying is the worst one because people come back from flights and they tell you their story. And then we get on the plane and they made us sit there on the runway for 40 minutes.
Yeah, but it's like 40 minutes of your life, you know, kind of wasting. I mean, to be fair, you're on YouTube. You're probably on the toilet watching me, so I don't know. It can't be that bad.
Oh, really? What happened next? Did you fly through the air like a bird? Did you partake in the miracle of human flight, you non-contributing zero?
It's so true. It's fair. Airplanes are hell. I'm not a tall dude. I'm 5'8". If I can't fit in the seat, there's something wrong, you know? That's probably the only motivational speech I've ever heard from a man who looks like he can't get off the couch. I agree though, airplanes are amazing. For most of human history, if you were that high in the air, you could only really enjoy it for a few seconds. Imagine explaining air travel to like someone from the Middle Ages. Now we can cross the ocean in one night. My God! But sometimes the seats don't lean back. Oh no! And sometimes there's a little screaming child you just want to throw out of the airplane, and there's no way to deal with it. We will sacrifice him. Look, this is a great routine on an airplane. The only problem I see is that he's rich now and he's definitely flying first class. Like, he can't be relatable anymore. And like, if there's a crying baby in first class, they probably just chuck it out the window. Or they have like some soundproof bucket or so. I don't know. I've never been first class, if you can't tell. I'd be wearing a much better hoodie. Other than that, he also likes doing routines on his family. Yes, someone decided to procreate with him. If you're single and can't find a girlfriend, there is hope. And it lies in the arms of Louis C.K. One day, you too could pay child support.
I have to, first of all, I gotta get him dressed. That's number one, because that's the one that people will notice. That's the only one. If that's the only one.
That's beautiful, Louis. Every time you watch any of his stand-up, just know that that's someone's dad. And they're going to be watching this at the age of like 20.
Because I can't, if I show up with two naked kids, I'll go to jail. So I have to, but I can not feed them. They're fine. I ate. They're just a little tired.
Fucking hell. That's a rough line. That's a type of joke you do with a very big crowd. You do that with a small crowd. You just feel like you just get silent. Like, this isn't too bad. Wait till we get to the allegations section. He basically loves his kids about as much as Homer Simpson.
You little...
I know what you're thinking. He's a family man. I bet he doesn't flash his penis at women. Well, think again. If you're hearing this for the first time, congratulations. Louis C.K. is well known for flashing women.
Put your clothes back on!
But the question is, why? My theory is based on How I Met Your Mother. Have you guys seen that show? It's a very good watch. In case you haven't seen it, well, there's an episode called The Naked Man. The idea of the episode is that if you meet a girl and she's significantly more attractive than you, which, let's face it, Louis C.K., that's gonna be most women. The rest of them have like claws and hoofs. But if she's out of your league and you're on a date with her, you take her back to your place, you make an excuse to leave the room, and then when she sees you next, you're completely naked. And supposedly, occasionally, the woman
Sleeps with you. Boom.
Now in the show, every 2 out of 3 times it works. I have a feeling reality is a lot more gruesome. Basically, Louis C.K. occasionally touched his one-eyed monster and invited women back to his room. He was also found diddling himself while on a phone call with women. Now I'll be honest, if I was the one who walked into that room, every day after that point, if someone ever asked me if I was religious, I can say no, but I know what hell looks like. That would be the only time I'm envious of blind people. I'm blind! Now, all of this stuff happened about 20 years ago, but I don't understand how we got away with it for so long. Like, if I was that girl's family member, I would have figured out on day 2. I'd have been like, hey honey, you haven't eaten in 2 days. What's going on? I don't know, I can't eat penis-shaped foods anymore.
Foods are shaped like dicks? The best kinds.
I don't know. It's really messed up.
I've seen some things. He then came out with his next special, Sincerely Louis C.K. The first half basically says, everybody's equal, and I'm not misogynistic or racist.
Although I do wonder if there are gay people who miss when it was wrong. Because wasn't it a little more fun?
And then the second half is basically him realizing that the girl from HR left the room.
Didn't I give it a little zhuzh, a little... could lose my job. Oh, fuck.
Oh, it's so bad.
Some people like when sex is a little fucked up. Some people like.
This is a good point to note. This is his independent special. Like, he produced this himself because no one would touch him. I mean, well, that's poor choice of words, but you know what I mean.
All right, you want to talk about it? Should we talk about it? Bro, I'll give you some advice.
Could you feel how tense the room got through the screen? It's going to be gold standard advice.
If you ever ask somebody, can I jerk off in front of you? Just let me finish. I mean,
The beauty of him is that would have been intentional too, you know? Like, he would have written that on purpose.
and they say yes. Just say, are you sure? And then if they say yes, just don't fucking do it. Just don't.
Okay, that was funny. It was nasty, but it was funny. He's trying to justify it, but it's also like, this is very avoidable. You just don't touch yourself in front of other people. Like, look at me right now. I'm not touching myself. And you're welcome. I think in every special, he has like 2 versions of himself. He's got Responsible Louis and Evil Louis. The only problem is that Responsible Louis only gets like 8 seconds of airtime, and Evil Louis prepared like a PowerPoint. His comedy style is very well structured. He starts by confessing something that's very embarrassing. He's lazy. He's a bad dad. He has horrible thoughts. That's his main one.
Hope you're wearing a condom, because I have a dirty mind.
Basically, he exposes himself so the audience lowers their defenses. Although now that I think about it, exposing himself should probably be retired from the analysis of Louis C.K. Hey, he makes himself vulnerable. Actually, that's not much better. He begins by showing his innocence. Oh, fuck. These all sound like he's whipping out his schlong. He presents himself. Still bad. Let's go with that. He presents himself. He presents himself as the worst person in the room, which allows everyone else to feel slightly better about his jokes. Next, he gets everyone to agree with him. He establishes a normal opinion. People deserve compassion. Violence is wrong. He shows that he knows it's not okay. It's like putting up a safety guard. Like, you know those safety bearings they have on the road so that your car doesn't veer off and go off the cliff? Kind of like that. And then after that, he drives off the cliff. He just escalates it further and justifies it wholeheartedly. Have you noticed as well, he also performs like all these ideas are just coming to him. Like, he pauses, he rubs his head or his tum-tum. He makes it clear that what he's saying he doesn't agree with, but it's a joke. And that casual delivery actually hides how well-structured his jokes are. He spent years writing and performing his stand-up comedy all over the world.
I am also a children's performer.
But a very major shift happened in his career during the 2000s. Before that, Louis had spent the last 15 years doing the exact same hour every single day. And then one night, he went to go see George Carlin. If you want to see a video on George Carlin, I've got it over here. George Carlin had a very specific practice in which every year he threw out all of his material and started again from scratch so that he would always progress in his writing. And to be fair, it works pretty well. Louis now has a special on Netflix that just came out. George Carlin, well, he's like super dead, but he was very successful in his career. Most comedians keep their best jokes forever. The only thing that he kept from his original stand-up career was the beer belly. He became a major success story. Whoa. And look, I mean, what he did was very, very disgusting. But at least he kind of took responsibility for it and publicly acknowledged it. I do have to say, the more I do these videos, the more I realize you can get away with pretty much anything if people like who you are on stage. And in the future, if you ever see a comedian you like, just don't check their search history. Now, welcome to the Roast of Louis C.K. Louis C.K. looks like he permanently has a bolognese sauce stain on his chest. You know what I'm saying? He looks like he's from the pudgy white mafia. Louis C.K. looks like a boiled thumb. I'm not even gonna explain that further. That's just true. Louis looks like if every performance happened right after a trip to the liquor store. If you looked inside Louis C.K.'s wallet, you'd find 3 things. A condom from 1998 that still hasn't been used, a dick pic that he's just keeping on himself just in case he needs it, and a membership card for an X-rated video store. Even his beard doesn't want to be recognized with him in public. He looks like if the Make-A-Wish kid somehow made it to middle age after a terminal illness. Louis once got kicked out of an all-you-can-eat restaurant. Not for eating too much food, but for showing his penis to the waitress. Louis C.K. sounds like a luxury fashion brand for middle-aged men going through a divorce. He called one of his comeback specials Sorry, which feels less like a sincere apology if you have to pay for it. Imagine receiving an apology note with a checkout page. I deeply regret my actions. Now, please select HD or standard definition.
I'm so funny.
He remains one of the sharpest and darkest stand-up comedians of his generation. He finds the ugly in the world and he presents it to his fans. Not his jokes, his penis. He is living proof that if you're talented enough, Hollywood will not close the door on you. Instead, from now on, they might just knock first. So, what do you guys think? Can you still enjoy Louis C.K.'s older comedy? Or has everything that's come out changed the way that all of his jokes land? Let me know in the comments. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and check out the rest of my channel. I've got some good stuff on there.